Okay, so this is the roti making technique. So about 2 cups of flour. Melt that in the microwave. Put it for 2 minutes in the microwave. Okay. I'm just going to add some salt in here. After that, this 250 grams of butter. I took half of that, which is 125, and melted it. You can use oil mixed to it, but I prefer butter because obviously also for health reasons. Yeah. Better than margarine, that's for sure. So we add 3 tablespoons
What are the people that make margarine?
The melted butter, and
Is it called ghee?
That's clarified. The difference is it's melted like that and then sifted, strained to remove all the impurities from it.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that.
Nani, what are the people who invented
So
margarine?
you're adding previously boiled water to that, enough to make a soft dough. So you just judge. I should tell you exactly how much. I think about for 2 cups of flour, that was about 3/4 cup water. Let's see how that goes, and then we'll add more if we need. So all you do is just form a dough. Okay, you have to dig in and use your fingers. There's no way out of it but to do that.
Why don't you use like a knife or something?
No, you can't, because you got to get the feel of the dough, you know.
I have something in my pocket knife that you could use.
What? To cut off my fingers?
Oh, a plier. You can kind of squeeze it.
Let
in
Adam do
so
it.
that you have to grab
Oh,
it.
you won't be able to handle the heat of this. Okay, so just get it all together.
I'll cook and stuff, but I'm not getting my hands.
So you add water till you get this kind of
This consistency.
consistency.
Yes, and if like I like it a little softer than this, but I'm not going to make it too soft because it gets more difficult to handle. But you just get a softer roti overall effect. So what you do once you've reached this stage, just dip your fingers into the melted butter or oil and knead the dough until it gets nice and smooth. The trick to a successful roti is to have the dough stand for a while, as long as possible, maybe an hour or so. So it just has a more smoother finish, which makes a smoother roti. Cover the roti and let it stand. The dough, I mean, let it stand. Okay, so I'll show you what we need for roti making. We made our dough previously, so it's nice and elastic. If you look at this, it's a nice smooth dough. So we're going to make, it depends on the size of the roti you want, or the thickness, the amount of, or the size of the ball you're going to use. So I would say about smaller than a tennis ball, a little bigger than a ping pong ball. Right? So I would form all these sprinkle a little flour on your. I prefer to use a plastic sheet so it keeps it moist. It doesn't dry out the dough. So just form all your little portions. I have to tell you that I like singing while I cook usually, but I think we'll spare you this. Otherwise you'd probably put it off and go with. So cover that up so it stays nice and moist. Okay. Wipe your surface. Sprinkle some flour and a little over the dough, and start rolling. So you just use a circular sort of work from the side out so that you end up with a circle. Okay, so if you've got about this size, you need to spread some melted butter on there. And the less butter and oil and everything else we use, the healthier we are, so not too much. Sprinkle some flour, double it, some more melted butter, sprinkle, and then a third little dollop there, sprinkle, and then this is my trick. So what you do is you've got a triangle, you just push that into the middle, and then So this is what we've got at the end of it. Just round it off by running it in your hands like that with your fingers.
Who taught you how to make this?
The roti making, the normal technique, my mum and my granny, but all the others, the pushing into the middle and the rounding off with the fingers, that I just picked up on the way, somewhere along the line. I don't know when. So what you do is just get your roti that you pre-prepared. Give it a bit more of a rounding. Okay. Sprinkle some more flour and some over and start rolling. So the same technique, just try to keep the shape, but the shape's not that important also.
But that folding over samosa kind of thing, why do you do that?
That allows it to rise and also gives it a bit more softness. So I think it's necessary. I'm hearing that a lot of people are doing away with that phase.
They just do a plain
just
plate.
a bit more butter to the initial dough and then just roll out and roll straight and fry. And I still find the old-fashioned way is better. So if you have time,
It creates layers, doesn't it? Just
it gets layers.
layers.
It
Yeah.
kind of rises and separates the layers. Okay, I think it's more or less a circle. So we're going to check the heat again and just put a little bit of butter just so it doesn't stick to the pan initially. And pop that onto the plate. Trust me, your fingers become desensitized after a while. So if you can't handle it, then just use a spatula. But for now, I'm okay with that.
So you can see the air pockets filling up
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah, see how that happens. Well, if it's an ultra successful roti, like my mother-in-law would have loved it to come out, then it would puff up completely. But I have to say it doesn't happen always. I get lucky it does.
So that's 3 4 turns, and you get it to a bit more base than that. So the other side should be fine. And at this stage, it's getting quite hot, so we're going to lower the heat slightly. This is what you're looking for before you put the melted butter on. So not too much once again, because you don't have purchase. Some of the melted butter. And now I need this. My fingers won't handle it. And some more on the other side. You could use a pastry brush, but it's kind of easier and softer. Just to get it to glaze evenly all around. Just press it. And over to get the desired color.
See the that, right?
Okay.
So off it goes. And we're done.
It's all fine.
हमसे सनम क्या पर्दा हमसे सनम क्या पर्दा ये आज था